What's going on, guys? Kivox here, and welcome to a new Wandsday. I have 7 new wands to show you guys today, and remember, if you are a patron, you do get first dibs at these. So if you're seeing this on Patreon, or if you just happen to be a patron and the video is not actually out for everybody else yet, hit me up on Discord and let me know which one you want to pick up, and then we can work out the rest of the details on there. By the way, if you guys want to become patrons, you can. Links at the end of the video, also in the description. So let's get into what we're going to be talking about today. I got 7 wands that I made, and they're all unique as usual. They all come with little display. Do I have any here to show you? They do all come with these little displays, and you just pop the wand on there, and they say, and there's wands on the display. They're simple. They don't look like this though. They look like this, but they don't look like this. This is a wooden one, but they're painted gold, like a bronzy gold, bronzy-ish gold color. For all the wands that I'm about to show you, if you are seeing this on YouTube, then they should already all be up on the shop. There are a few other wands on there as well. I'm going to be going over a few little tips and tricks for how I did certain things. If you guys have any questions on how I did something, and if it's simple enough for me to answer, leave a comment down below asking me the question, and I'll try to do my best to answer them. Some of them, it's really hard. Like, I have an acrylic wand. If you're like, how'd you make the acrylic wand? I'm going to kind of give you guys just bear with me. I can't answer every question, but I'll try to answer every question. Okay, all right, thank you. So let's start off with these. There's these 2 wands. They kind of started off together. I was kind of trying to keep a general theme between the 2, and then they kind of split off into their own designs. They're made out of hearts, right? That sounds weird. One is made out of red heart, and the other one is made out of purple heart. You can see that they kind of, if you kind of combine them, they kind of make a heart a little bit. That was the original idea of them. They are going to be going up separately, but they do kind of go together. This was the idea. They're not magnetized or anything like that. I thought about doing it. I was kind of inspired by the original twin wands that I made. You know, these are kind of like 2 wands that are in lover's embrace. I don't know what that means. They are kind of, very different from each other. Even though they have the same kind of general spiral at the end, you can see that this one, the arch is very, very prominent right here. And then this guy, it's more of a very straight curve this way, straight curve. You guys know what I mean. It goes straight for most of the wand. You can see that most of the wand is pretty straight. As you can see with this one, there is that very like tight, deep spiral that goes all the way around. But then there is also a secondary little it's the beginning of a spiral. You can see it wraps around right here, but then it stops right there. Basically, all I was trying to do is add this one part, and then the handle itself and the blade have a squared off ish design to it. So it's kind of, there's a few flat spots on it that run all the way down the blade, kind of like this guy has. So this, you can see that there are 4 sides to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here it kind of just blades out all the way around. And by blade, I mean it has a taper right here that closes in, and it's kind of like a blade. It's kind of sharp, but it's not actually sharp. It's pretty rounded off. And the same thing with this blade. It's kind of squared off into 4 general sides. This kind of has 5 because I've flattened out the top a little bit. But it is a very, I feel like this one's a little bit more elegant, a little bit more simplistic, but still a very, very weird. and I don't know. I feel like not everyone is gonna love this one, but I definitely think that it's a unique, simple. Obviously, the black was from a little bit of burning. There was no burning done on this. The only little bit of dark spots on there are from the from sanding it and the bit just getting like hot and burning it naturally, which was pretty cool. And then obviously you could see that there is a color difference in this one. The reasoning behind that is it's just the natural grain of the wood. This was most of the red heart here, and then this was a little bit more of a gold color. And I made sure to keep this in the wand because there was another part of it that this gold yellow color wasn't really in, basically the upper part of the wand, and I was like, nope, I have to have that. I have to have that in there. I just think it'll look really cool. And the red obviously on this is from the wood itself. Same thing with this purple here. So again, hearts, red and purple. I thought it looked kind of cool. That was the theme behind those two. Most of the work on that was done on a sander, with a Dremel, and that's it. It was like sanding and a Dremel and a little bit on the bandsaw, just to chop up some of the more bigger parts of it so that I didn't have to sand so much. Next up, we have a birch wand. What I love about this birch is that when you burn it, you get this awesome highlights on the grain. It just makes the grain pop because this birch is very, very light. So as you can see here, you can barely see any of the grain, right? But when you hit it with a little bit of a torch, ooh-wee, you get that beautiful, but if you go too far, then it just all turns black and then you lose all the detail, which is not what you want. So the idea behind this one was I wanted a very organic, just wavy, woovy, nuvy, blue, I don't know. I just wanted it to be nice and natural and no sharp edges. So as you can see from the top, this is the top of the wand. It's very weirdly crooked. This is one of the profiles. That's the bottom. Obviously, it's going to look the same as the top. But it's very, weird. And I don't know. I really like it. From the profile, it looks like it just kind of does this type of thing. But then you flip it this way. You have this nice little tail right here that wraps around. And I really like this one. I think it's a very simple wand. There's obviously this little wrap on it just to kind of give it a little bit extra, because it was, remember when I say you always need that extra 5 or 10%, and that's what the wrap on this was. Not maybe some people won't like it. Maybe some people will say, oh, you should have just left it with the wood grain and it would have looked cool. Yes, it could have, but the wood grain goes very horizontal, and I kind of just wanted to add in some vertical, like just contrast to the horizontal stripes, basically, just to make it a little bit busier. I think it's a pretty cool wand. I just reduced the size a bit on the saw, and then drew the pattern that I wanted, and then started sanding away. That's pretty much usually how most of the wands go that aren't as technical as some of the other ones. And then it was a lot of just smoothing out the edges so that it looked like it flowed well. I don't know if that's how you use flowed. I don't even know if you can say it flowed. If you guys have any questions, or like I don't explain something well enough, feel free to leave a comment down below asking me. If I do have, if I can explain it easily enough in like a paragraph, I will. If I can't, I'll try to explain it in another video or something. So I'm trying to be a little bit more informative in this one, trying to give you guys some more tips on, how certain things are made and how I did certain things or problems that I found. Let's talk about another birch one. So this is actually a combo of 2 different types of wood. This is a birch and ash wand, and I really like this one. It is super classic, super traditional, and like I really like it. Originally, it was gonna be all birch, but I came across a problem. You know how you guys ask me like, oh, do you ever break a wand and then get all depressed about it? Yes, I break plenty of the wands that I make. Sometimes you can save them. Sometimes you end up making something better. For example, I think this one came out better than what the original was going to look like. So the original one was all the birch, but this birch piece had a nice old knot like right here. And obviously let's say that knot was like this big, right? And as I started making this piece thinner and thinner, that knot was a structural fault. It basically made that piece weaker and weaker. So just from working on it, it just kind of fell off. So I was like, oh, well, that was a waste of like 3 hours. So I was able to save it, and I had a piece of this ash, and I was like, I think I could make this a cooler wand than originally I was going to. So I was able to cut it down and insert it into this this ash blade, and I think it came out really nice. Super classy, pommel heavy, even though it technically isn't heavy. As you can see, the balance point is all the way over here. It is definitely a traditional style. You can't really hold it pommel heavy. It feels too blade heavy. So I would definitely say it's a traditional style of holding, even though the balance point is all the way over here. The birch is very, very light. Like I said, that other one is very light. I don't know actually if I said that, but it works. I think it looks really nice. I tried to keep the grain facing the same direction. As you can see, it all, like, you know, the angle of it is this way, basically. I think it came out really, really nice. I love the contrast, but it still kind of goes together well enough. I didn't really want to burn the ash too much, even though I love how ash looks when it's burned. I didn't want to do it too much because I didn't want to overpower. I wanted the handle to be a little bit darker, and I think it came out nice. All right, which one do I want to talk about next? All right, I think we're gonna go with this Padauk. If you guys know me at all, you know that Padauk is my favorite type of wood to work with, and for my wand is Padauk. I think this one came out super cool. I figured out how to do this while making this wand. So these little like indents right here. So the plan behind that was that the grip basically has, which it's not very grippy because it's metal, but the grip has like indented little like spots, and then the blade and the rest of the wand basically is concave, convex. You see what I mean, right? Like these go in and then these pop out. So I think it came out really cool. I think it's a super simple, classy design. So these two, I would say, are the two classiest, like most traditional style out of this batch. This is kind of cool. I just realized this, that those first three that I showed you, these guys are very much a non-conventional style where they have a lot of curves and angles, and then these two are very traditional styles, you know, guard, pommel, handle, grip or whatever, blade. Nice ratios as well between them. They're very classy, very original, right? I guess not original, but original in the sense of being like an original wand, like an old wand. And I really like it. I tried my best to keep this seam right here as nice as possible so it flows very, very well. We did a little bit of burning all the way at the end and a little bit of burning over here. This guy was mostly done on the lathe and then removed, and I made this little brass piece here to insert it, and it's glued in there, and I think it looks really cool. I think it is a nice, simple, you know, nice, very good, yeah. Which is funny because, hold on, let me grab something real quick. This is actually one of the previous wands that I made that have this kind of the same styling of this one, right? Because it has that brass piece. It has a little bit extra brass and some solder in there just to kind of like make it a little funkier, you know, make it a little weirder. This is also made of Meekachii or whatever, which this grain is beautiful. There was nothing done to this besides just a clear coat put over it just to protect it a little bit, but it's just beautiful grain, and it has that same like styling. The ratios are obviously a little bit off, but this one's definitely a little bit more rugged. This one's definitely a little bit more classy, and just like it looks a little newer. This one looks a little bit more beat up and looks like, you know, it's more of a rugged wizard's wand, and it also has this cool little flat spot here. These next two are probably I'd say they were the two harder wands to make out of all of these because they have the most like technical things going on. Let's start off with this guy. This is made out of canary wood. It has all these cool facets on there. I found a pattern for Sirius Black's wand, and I popped that guy on here. I've done this with one other wand before. I love that pattern. I think it looks really good, especially running all the way down a wand. As you can see, I think it just looks super nice. It's centered pretty well. Like it's like dead on pretty much. There's a couple of cool little parts right here where it kind of like the facet kind of cuts into the pattern a little bit, and I think it looks really nice. If you guys are watching this and these wands are already up, you can go to enderswands.com. It'll bring you over to the shop, and you can see closer, better pictures, higher res pictures of all of these wands. I try to take as many pictures as I can so you could see kind of all the angles and all the details as best you can, because the video shows, you know, it in motion and stuff, but seeing the pictures definitely like will sometimes show you things that you can't see in this video. As you can see, the wand is perfectly flat on top. You could lay this on a table somewhere and it'll just sit like that. And then basically all the work was done on this side, and then this side was just left with the engraving on there. Yeah, this one was definitely, I don't think everyone can make this because this was actually made on a laser. It was laser engraved onto the top, which that's why it looks like perfect. And then I did a very, very light burn just to bring up some of these highlights, just a few of these little, the facets, just to kind of make them a little bit, like just pop a little bit more. You can see that the facets wrap all the way around this, and then they go till right about here, and then they kind of start slowing down, and then the end, it doesn't have anything, and it's right here, it's kind of flattened out as well, right on the top edge. You put that pattern like on any wand, and it just like makes it look so much cooler. Okay, and now this next one. This is an acrylic one that I drew up okay, so I've had this one ready, and I was just kind of waiting to make it for a while, because I did the acrylic for it and I had it ready, and I just had to carve it basically at that point. So this one's really cool. It actually it's gonna be kind of weird to explain. I hope you guys understand everything. So there is a piece of purple heart that runs all the way through it. And then we have a little bit of a purpley, hazy acrylic on top, and a little bit of a kind of like it's kind of weird. It's a lighter purple on the other side. It's mixed in a little bit. And the concept behind the way that this wand looks is actually like a bone sword from a little game I like called Monster Hunter, and some of the swords. So basically, like this is like the blade side of the sword, and then this is kind of the back side, right? So if it's like a katana where it's a single-sided blade sword, there's basically, this is the sharp edge, and then this is the back side of the sword, and it has like these cool indents and bony spiky parts. And then just to make it a little bit less like a sword, I kind of put this on here too. It's kind of gives it a little bit of a handle, but I would still say that you would hold this wand more towards the center of it. Remember, I still strongly feel like the correct place to hold a wand is where the center of gravity is. So wherever that balancing point is, that's pretty much where you would hold it. That's where it feels the best, because if you're holding it pretty much with your fingers like this, you're not going to hold the wand like this, right? You're going to pretty much hold it this way in some way or another, even if you're holding it this way. But again, you want it to feel balanced. You don't want it to be very end heavy or in either way. So if you look closely here, you will see that you have all those beautiful little like facets, and there's a little bit of some browning around the edges because I hit it with the torch a little bit just to discolor the acrylic a little bit more to make it look less like a perfectly clear acrylic, because it was going to be very, very purple. So I hit it with that, which some of you may be like, oh man, it would have been so cool if it was super purple. Maybe in the future I'll make another one that's more purple. Like, relax, take it easy. This one doesn't look like that. It looks cool though. I really like it. And remember, there will be like closer up shots, but you can see that the purple heart runs all the way through it. And I really like this one. I had this idea a while ago, and it just took me a while to figure out how to do it. And it was not the easiest thing. Here you have it, guys. These are all 7 of this batch's wands. I don't know what's going on. It's a late night. I'm trying to get this video recorded, and I gotta edit it still. So pump the brakes, relax, take it easy. Let me know which one out of all of these was your favorite. I honestly think, let me guess. Let me see which one's my favorite. I think that these 2 in the center here, these traditional style ones, are probably my favorite. But this one right here, I think, is the coolest. Does that make sense? Just because something is the coolest doesn't mean that it's my favorite. Remember, guys, if you guys want to pick up any of these, they are up on the shop. If you are a patron, you do get first dibs. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in whatever next video that comes out that I am in. And by see you, I mean you will see me. And I hope you enjoyed that one too. And leave a comment if you haven't already. Like the video and subscribe. All the things. Bye, bye, bye.